Hey, what's up? All right. Well, this one, this is a good video because we're going to just call it a picture is worth 1,000 words. We've done a few of these before. So I know you take a look at this picture and what do you see? You see a lot of stuff, right? So let's talk about this, the real problem with this picture and what's going on in this house. You know, people get sick for all kind of things today, all right? And if I lived in this house, I'd be sick. And maybe I'll go see a doctor and maybe I'd be on some kind of medication. But this one here is completely obvious. Okay, so let's just talk about what's really going on here. Number one, there's a crawl space a lot. There's millions of homes with these crawl spaces, and the old idea of crawl space designs in the past was soil dirt, dirt floor and vents. Okay, and those were called vented crawl spaces. And then we had what's called conditioned crawl spaces. And conditioned is, adding insulation, putting vapor barriers down, in other words, plastic, sealing the ground, okay? Kind of treating it like your house, heating, cooling, conditioning, and dehumidifying. What's happening here is we've got water underneath your home. So think about it. The water's not going to disappear. It's going to hit the wood. It's going to cause mold. So all these timbers, these joists, and and if you see, the black staining on the joists, you will see mold and mildew because mold and mildew needs water, humidity, dark space, and cellulose products. Well, we got all that here, right? And so what does mold do? Hey, it outgasses too, MVOCs, microbial volatile organic compounds. And before you know it, your house smells musty. So you walk in this house, you go, ooh, right at the front door, guess what? You can smell this crawl space. Now, you're going to be breathing this. After a while, you don't smell it, but you're getting sick because you're breathing all these particles, these mold spores. And when mold breaks down and dies off, it forms hyphae. And hyphae is like pieces, and they get smaller. And so you're breathing all these particulates. What else is going on in this crawl space? Oh, okay, so it gets full of water, and it stays full of water, and it evaporates in your house, right? And it causes mold and cause all kind of bad stuff and high indoor humidity. Plus, another thing's going to happen in this house is you're going to wake up in the morning and all the windows are going to have condensation on them, especially on the north side, and that's going to rot out your windows. So now we're going to start secondary deterioration on our windows. Okay, and we might even have mold in the attic and the attic access. So we're not going to get into all that. Let's just talk about this crawl space. So we got to figure out where this water's coming from, and we got to probably, either put sub pumps in there, or we got to dewater it, or we have to waterproof it, or we got to dam proof it, whatever. We're not going to get into that in this video. So what else we see in this picture? Well, we see all these pipes, okay? And so we're wondering, why does it take a minute for me to get hot water every time I take a shower or I need some hot water? Well, this is an unconditioned space. The pipes are cold. They got to get warm. So you're going to waste about 2-3 gallons of water all the time. And you're going to waste gas because now these aren't insulated. So it's going to cost you money for water and for gas. Now, what else we see down here? Lint, okay, and that's not spider webs, that's lint. Yeah, it is spider webs, but there's lint down here. So that's a whole other problem. So now we're adding to this whole issue. We're adding in more humidity from the dryer vent. You can't dump a dryer vent into a crawl space. It's got to go outside. It's got to go outside. So what else we got down here? We have this plastic piece here. You can see how that's all muddy. If I get my hand, see it right here? That's like a little pathway. Let me move my picture there. See it? Okay. And so that is a vapor barrier. Doesn't work. It's all muddy from people or water getting onto it. And it's really not doing anything. That's not a vapor barrier. A vapor barrier would be that across the whole basement. I mean, the crawl space, sealed up on the walls. And you'd probably want to insulate the walls here. Another thing you see is over here, you see the efflorescence. So that's showing me that this thing not only gets wet but floods. You could probably take a boat down into this thing on certain peak rainstorms. Okay, not to mention you can see it here on this masonry block. You see the stains here. Look how high up that efflorescence stain goes. So this crawl space gets flooded. Then you see these little cans here of pesticides. So what are you going to have in a crawl space that's wet, full of dirt? You're going to also have bugs, centipedes and pill bugs. And when it gets full of water, then they're all going to go up into your house. And you're going to wonder why you got little bugs all over the house. Okay? So, particulate. Okay? Particulate, dust, microbial, any type of particulate isn't really good for us. And it goes by different sizes too. And like when I check people's homes, I use what's called a laser particle counter. It's aggressive particle profiling. And, I'll check 5 microns. That's pretty big. That's like mold, spores, and 2 microns, 1 micron, 0.7 micron, 0.3. The smaller down, the deeper it gets into your lungs. The issue today with a lot of people's lungs and have problems with breathing and asthma is the dust levels and the humidity levels. Now, this particular house, if it had carpets and it had, let's say, dogs and cats, man, everybody in this house is going to be sick. They're going to have asthma, okay? Because the dust mites are going to love this house. They're going to love it because the humidity is going to let them live and thrive, and they're going to eat the skin fragments and from the cats and the saliva from the dogs. And every time you walk across the carpet, you're going to kick up a plume of dust. And if you got a kid, a baby on the carpet playing with blocks or dolls or whatever, you're going to destroy their air breathing zone, which is less than a foot. And that kid is going to be poisoned all day to a point where the kid's going to have asthma and be medicated his entire life. Something like this can destroy a child's life. This is serious stuff. So if you have a crawl space, and I have lots of video. Oh, by the way, I do have a service. You just Google. My name is. I know it says Marco below when you read this stuff, but it's not. It's Marko, Marco with a K. So you Google call Marco with a question. Google call Marco with a question. And if you got any house problems, you want a second opinion about stuff, you want to shoot me some photos or correspondence, something nobody else can deal with, and anything. I mean, pretty much I've done this for 40 years, 18,000 homes. I got a bunch of licenses I had, environmental. I'm an engineer, published, all kind of stuff. So, I'll be able to help you and answer your questions, especially if somebody else can't. Also, down below, I have some links and products, that you might want to buy. And you know what? If anything, you want to buy anything on Amazon, go to my thing and punch it up, and I'll get a piece of it. That helps pay for, my videos and any travel I got to do. Please rate, subscribe. And then, of course, I'm not done yet. Just get my pitch in. And hit the bell for future videos. So what do we got to do here? Okay, we got to figure out where the water's coming from. We got to stop the water. Then we got to go in here and clean this whole place out. We might have to scrape it and get rid of all the crap, the muck. Then we got to put in a vapor barrier. We got to HEPA vacuum the entire ceiling and everything. Then what we got to do is we have to clean and sanitize all the wood and walls. Then we got to put insulation around the perimeter walls, probably fiberglass, or maybe not, or styrofoam, whatever. We want to insulate the outside walls, seal the vents. Then we want to heat, cool, dehumidify. We got to make sure we dehumidify it. Then we want to probably insulate our pipes so we don't waste water and energy, okay? And then we want to heat it and cool it and condition it. And now we want to treat this like our living room. Right now, it's not our living room. You can see it gets full of chemicals when people spray these things. These are poison, these chemical spray things, And you're not really fixing the problem by killing bugs. The bugs are going to live down here. They can grow down here. They're going to live in this environment. This is like a great environment for them, and so you want to treat your crawl space like your home. Anyways, so I do have a lot of videos on YouTube. You want to look up, my channel is called Clevelandmarko, Marko. And if you go into the search section, you could punch in whatever you want. I have, 800-900 videos all about stuff like this. And if not, you can always, Google call Mark with a question. It costs $29. I'll solve your house problem in 15-20 minutes, or at least help you out with it. It's a lot cheaper doing that than calling somebody and having them show up and giving you some dog and pony show. Be very careful on contractors. If you call waterproofers, you know what they're going to say. You call plumbers and heating guys. Always do your homework. Always look stuff up. Study, watch videos. You want to know about your problem and tell your contractor your problem. This way they don't take advantage of you. You want to take advantage of your contractor, and you want the right contractor. So, hey, thanks for coming on.